President, spokesman of Joint Council. It is no longer news, the appalling states and the level of poverty that Nigerians are experiencing, particularly in the Niger Delta, where in our villages, in some part of our villages, a liter of fuel is sold for over 2,000 naira as it were. So the poverty is biting very, very hard. And this as a result of the instant removal of the fuel subsidy upon the resumption of office of Mr. President Bola Ahmed, who trusted in the abilities of the NNPC to manage the oil and gas sector, and provide products, enough sufficient products, for Nigerian usage. But unfortunately, that has not happened. That did not happen. Upon the removal of fuel subsidy, life became very tough for Nigerians, because one major vehicle upon which development thrive is easy access to movement. Movement is, and when fuel subsidy was removed, it became very tough for Nigerians, because fuel price catapulted from what it was to what it is now, and that has led to the monumental poverty, as it were, that Nigeria has ever recorded. In the first time in our history, we recorded over 40% of inflation, as it were, and that it shows the insincerity of some handlers of parastatals. It shows the level of unpatriotic disposition of managers of the oil and gas sector. It shows the negligence of the sectors that are to make life easy, as it were. And we had very high hopes when President Bola Ahmed Tinubu resumed office. We expected a replication of what was done in Lagos, but unfortunately, this is where we are, and it is called for action. It is called for us, to take decisive steps, as it were, because the future no longer belongs to those that are occupying positions. The future belongs to us as youth. So we are the drivers. We should be the drivers of the economy. We should be the drivers of the future. We need to create that future that we want to live in deliberately. And if no actions is being taken, this will be another rhetorics for another 8 years, as it were. But we are not going to sit down to allow Nigeria sink into oblivion. It is very sad to say that over the years, even the former president of this nation acknowledged the fact that the NNPC, which is saddled with the responsibility to micromanage government-owned refineries, are playing politics, and the level of corruption that has played out has clearly shown the insincerity and the ingenuity of the handlers of those refineries. For the last one decade or so, we have hearing rhetorics of the refinery is going to set in, the refinery is going to start production. For in the last one decade, that is what we keep hearing, and it has become rhetorics, and it is very, very sad to say that the handlers of those refineries are just playing politics with the lives and the future of this country. They are unpatriotic, and they are not Nigerians. In fact, by their actions, they should test them if they are true citizens, if they really are true citizens of Nigeria, because it clearly shows that they are after their own selfish interests. The refineries across the country have been moribund. Now a private investor has come in, Nigeria owned, and looking at the Local Content Act, that local content should be given priority, as it were. So Dangote Refinery, as a local actor in the oil and gas industry, should be given that level of priority, and that priority is not given to him. You could see the politics, the dilly-dallying, the politics that have been playing of supplying crude and not supplying crude. It clearly shows that our laws are not effectual when it comes to the oil and gas sector. Clearly shows that the Local Content Act, it has not come to full operation, as it were, as regards Dangote Refinery. And it calls for concern. For us as the Joint Council, we are calling outrightly that the MD, the CEO of the NNPC should be relieved of his duty, and all sectors, all managers of the oil and gas sector, boiling down to upstream and downstream regulatory agencies, and boiling down to all parastatals that are responsible for the management of our oil and gas proceeds should be sacked, should be relieved of that duty, because they are unpatriotic. They have not shown that level of patriotism, and you cannot ask what you are not giving. And that is the problem. We are not, because the level of politics that is being played, you could see how Dangote also cried out, how they are frustrating his efforts, as it were. A wonderful dynamic business mogul also came out to say that during the last dispensation, the last government under Muhammadu Buhari, that he wanted to buy off an establishment or a field for $2 billion, but it was not sold to him. Why was it not sold to him? Because of the level of monumental corruption that is outplaying, obviously, in the oil and gas sector. For us as the Joy Youth Council, we have said that we are going to be engaging, and as part of engagement, if the Bola Ahmed Tinubu-led federal government is serious, he should relieve the handlers of the oil and gas sector, particularly the NNPC and other establishments responsible, for the functionalities of our refineries, and also for the availability of product for Dangote refineries. Those persons are unpatriotic. They should be sacked. They should be relieved of their duty because they are unpatriotic, and they should be declared enemies of the progress of Nigerian progress. They should be declared enemies of Nigerian progress. The oil thieves, you are not mentioning them. That means you are part of the thieves. If you know the thieves and you are not mentioning the thieves, it means that you are one of the thieves. That is what it means, and that is what we stand for as a Joy Youth Council. We stand for equity. We are being undermined over the years, and we are saying no. This time around, we are going to stand up to ourselves. We are going to be standing up to our future, because the future belongs to us. The future must be determined now. If the federal government is not taking action, we will help them and take the action when the time is right. The way forward for the Nigerian economy: number one, sack the handlers of the oil and gas sector that are playing politics with the oil subsidy issues. The federal government should name names and sack the handlers of those establishments, particularly the NNPC and other agencies or ministries that are responsible for the rejigging of the oil and gas sector. And also, in terms of, we have other area diversification. The solution to all of this is through federalism. That is what we have been preaching, and I know that President Bola Ahmed Tinubu has also told that line in his messages, and his body language has clearly shown that he is so much interested in true federalism. So the implementation of the true federalism should come to play effectively, and the judiciary, which is the hope of the common man, should play its role effectively to ensure that Nigeria works. The three arms of government should stop playing politics with the lives and with the future of Nigerians. Do your functions effectively, particularly the judiciary, that is to hold the executive accountable, that is to hold the legislative accountable, that is to uphold the rule of law. They should do that without fear or favor. They should do that sensu stricto, so that the future of Nigeria will be secured. And we also call on the military, please and please. The military is responsible for the protection of our territorial integrity. They are responsible, for the security architecture of design of Nigeria. They shouldn't play politics with the security of this nation, because what this nation is gradually delving into is something. It can be a replaying of history that has played in other, countries like Venezuela and other countries. That's the situation that Nigeria is gradually slipping into if deliberate actions are not taken by the federal government. And the state governors also should be held accountable, particularly the Niger Delta governors. The 13% derivative, when the time is right, we are going to be asking those questions. Over 115 billion accrued to Bayelsa State, over 300 billion Delta states, over 110 billion River State. Where are those monies? There's no commensurate development, as it were, compared to the monies that has entered our region in the last 1 year. We are going to be also asking our governors questions. Why is the system not working? Why the development is snail walking? Why is our development snail pacing? It's a problem, and that is a question we'll keep asking until we get answers. Like I said before, after now, we're going to be engaging critically. We are going to be engaging state governors. We are going to be engaging the federal government back to back. But one appeal that we must make profoundly is that handlers of the oil and gas sector that are moribund, that are unfunctional, that are unpatriotic, that are enemies of the collective progress of Nigerians should be relieved of their duty so that we can be on the right track. We encourage the president, please and please, stand up to your responsibility. We Nigerians has voted you in as president. Live up to expectation as the president of the Federal Republic of Nigeria so that we can be on the path of consistent progress.
Thank you.